Okay, so now in this section we are going to be actually learning how we can deploy our application to the internet. So now we've built an application, we need to actually get it out on the internet, right? So to do that we have plenty of ways, and I'm going to teach you one way you can do it using GitHub and Heroku CLI. So first of all, I want you to go to GitHub and create a repository, and in here we'll be deploying our own auth API. So as you can see, I'm logged into GitHub, and if you are not uh, a member of GitHub yet, I highly recommend you to join it. And we create a new here, and we'll name the repository as auth. Alright, I'll keep the repository public and add a git ignore, add a license, all of that. We don't have to do all of that right now. We'll just create a new repository, and it tells us the command we can use to actually create and add all of this repository to our own local system using git. So first of all, you're gonna come here and we're gonna open this, and we're gonna do something very important here. We are going to create a .gitignore file. So gitignore file actually will ignore whatever is not wanting to be committed, that is the .env file, which is definitely not wanting to be committed by us because it contains all our secrets, and the node modules because they can be installed anywhere and it's not special to our code. So after we do the .gitignore, we should do a git init in here. So what this will do is it will initialize a git repository. Then we'll do git add dot, which is staging basically the thing for commit, and we'll do git commit -m, and we'll say initial commit. Alright, so all of it is committed now. We'll come here and we'll add this here as it says, and after we do this, it has been pushed to the GitHub, and if you just hit refresh here once, you can see our code is right here. We can add a readme to this, so it says help people interested in this repository understand your project by adding a readme. So I will just do that, and you have to actually create a markdown for this. So authentication API has a login route, has a registration route, and has a dashboard route. To start, make sure you have node.js and npm installed. Create a .env file and place the environment variables. Thereafter, run the command. Actually go to the next line here. Then run npm install, so that our repository can actually install all the node modules. To start, use npm start to start in debug mode, use npm test. Alright, we'll see the preview of this markdown file. As you can see, it looks like this, and we'll say commit new file. And after this has been done, I actually want you to come here and do a git pull origin master, so that whatever was there in the remote repository, you can actually pull it to your repository right here. Alright, so after this is done, we'll just clear this. Now I want you to go to heroku.com. It takes a bit of time to load, and you can see I already have 3 apps on Heroku. I can create a new app, whatever, but we are going to use the Heroku CLI. So just make sure you have a Heroku account and you remember your details. So we'll just close that for now, and we're going to do, so I'll close this terminal off. Yeah, we're going to do Heroku log in. Again, Heroku should be installed in a system, and you can install Heroku using npm or snapstore in Linux, or you can just use the standard install in Windows, as I have explained in the installation section. So after you say Heroku login, it says press any key to open up the browser to login, or Q to exit. I'll just press anything, and the browser should open up, and it does, and just says login, and I'm logged in now. So now it says logged in as hishamaktar2001.mha, whatever, that's my email ID. So now we'll do Heroku create auth. So what it does is it creates a new app called auth. So it's creating auth, and says the name auth is already taken. So you can say auth authentication. You can just name it anything you want to. I'll just name it auth course. We'll say creating auth course, and it says creating auth course done. Actually, we'll come back here and we'll look at heroku.com. It says auth course here, so nothing is set on here as of now. So we'll do a git push Heroku master. Instead of actually doing a git push origin master, which pushes our code onto GitHub, we're going to push the code to Heroku. So it says git push Heroku master, press enter, and it'll actually take some time to build, because it actually installs all the dependencies on its remote server. As you can see, it's almost done. It says deploying done. However, our app is not ready to work yet, because we have these environment variables which need to be configured. So first of all, we don't need to configure the port, because Heroku will use its own port. We definitely need to configure all the other 3. So there are a couple of ways to do it, but this is the best way according to me. So it says reveal config vars. We can just say underscore URL here, and we can paste the database URL here, which is our MongoDB URL, and we can press that and add it. Then we have salt underscore rounds, and that is equal to 10 here. You can put it anything here. I'll just put 10 here and add it. And the token secret is, since we have actually not committed our .env file, we have to tell all this to Heroku quite literally to use these variables properly. And after we've done that, our app is ready to go. We can hit refresh here. Alright, and we can see if our app is running properly, not using Heroku logs -- tail. And I think there will be an error in our app as of now because our app has not been restarted. As you can see, there was an error here, but when I changed and set the database URL, then it restarted and is now connected to database and server is up and running. So that's great for us. Now, as you can see, you can come here and see where your app actually is. So it's found at https authcourse.herokuapp.com. Let's just copy that. Control C. We can fire up Postman and we can actually see if our app is actually working for the database. So first of all, we'll connect to the database to make sure everything's working. Come here, there's one user, John Doe. So this is the login here. I'll replace this with alright /API/user/login. So this is what our app now looks like, and the body is here. If we hit send and we wait for some time, we get back an auth token. So our app is running and it can read from the database. Let's just check if it actually gives us back the dashboard too. It says access denied because we don't have a header set yet. So after we set that, we get back a dashboard, and if we want to add a user, we can say register JED or whatever, and we can make this Jane Doe, and we can also change the password to Jane Doe, and we can just send register, and it's registered. And if we come to the database, it's 2 entries right here. So anyone on this planet now can actually use these 3 routes to actually log in people and register people to the particular app. And I'll show you how you can create a documentation using this, and we'll add the documentation to our README in here. Alright, so we have to hit save here, and we'll come and we'll say create collection, and we'll keep this collection name as auth here, and we'll say save to auth. We'll come here and we'll save here, and we'll say save to auth, and we'll also save this one to auth. We come to auth here, we have 3 requests. We'll actually add an example here. I'm going to name all these examples as default. We'll save that example. And adding these examples actually makes it easier for the person who is using these docs to see how your API behaves. And this one too. We'll save the example. Alright, after doing this, you should come here and you can say publish docs, and doing that will actually take you to your browser. It says Postman dashboard. You just need to make sure that you are actually logged into Postman. Manage accounts, and your Postman should be logged in. If you don't have an account in Postman, you can create it. Collection version is current and everything, and we'll just leave all of that to default, and we'll do publish collection. It says the collection is published at this URL, so we will go and we'll paste that URL, and let's see what is there at the URL. And you can see Postman has created a very beautiful documentation for our API. So it says https authcourse register API /user/register, and you have to send a body this way. It says example request and example response, all of that, and it's pretty amazing, right? So you can see the curl requests for these on a lot of things, and it's pretty cool. So what we are now going to do is we're going to, since we have it copied, we'll come to our readme and we'll add this, and in here we're going to say in fact this is supposed to be the other way around. Alright, and we can actually preview this right here. The documentation, the link is right there. So we'll do git add dot git commits -m updated readme, and we can do git push origin master, and it's pushed to our GitHub. So you can actually deploy and actually use your app from anywhere in the world right now. So I guess this was it for this video. You can actually go to GitHub and you can check the updation of the readme, just to make sure that you can come here and it says documentation, and if I click on that, it actually takes me to the documentation of the Postman. And I will be posting the link to this repository in the resources section of this video, so that you can actually come here and look at my code and compare my code with yours after you've done all the things here. So I guess this is it for this video, and thank you for watching everyone. It's been a great pleasure.